Hey there, everyone. Let's go a little deeper with a question. Do you love you? Let me explain. So I was dropping my kids off at school the other day, and I found myself going through the usual pleasantries I engage in on a daily basis. So I said good morning to the crossing guard, which is something I wish more people did. And then from there, I snuck up on my son's friend as he was walking backwards down the sidewalk to give him a little scare. After that, I said hello to a family I know while, crouching down to make sure I made eye contact with the younger girl who I happen to know is friends with my daughter. And then finally, on my way home, I saw a mom who I know approaching me with her son, and I surprised them with a couple of high fives, which put a smile on their faces. And then I went back to not loving myself. See, I was now getting close to home, and there were no more people around to interact with, no more teachers, no more parents, nobody else I knew, and I began having thoughts that weren't loving to myself. I started thinking about the update to my insurance I should have done a week ago and was beating myself up for it. I thought about my Instagram videos and how long it's been since I have posted there, and I started feeling frustrated for not making the time. I thought about money I'd been spending on business ideas recently that weren't taking off at the speed I wanted to see them go. And so on and so on and so on. Now, when most people have these kinds of thoughts, they see them as natural and unavoidable realities of life. We need to experience these negative feelings as a way of motivating ourselves to make positive changes, right? Well, on this particular morning, I caught myself doing just that. And I thought to myself, Stuart, why aren't you celebrating the person you were back there just now? I thought, Stuart, you are the kind of person who acknowledges the crossing guard, or who jokes around with children, or who will high-five a fellow parent. And when I realized that, I couldn't help but feel good. And I guess I even felt proud of myself, which is something I so rarely do. And then all of a sudden, in my mind, I said the words, "I love you, Stuart." Which, to be honest, almost made me laugh out loud, partially because I felt a little embarrassed speaking to myself that way, and also because it felt so good to hear it that I couldn't help but almost laugh. And I thought to myself, my gosh, wow. In one instant, I realized that I often don't love myself enough. Instead of pausing for a moment each day to celebrate the good that I might bring to the world, I spend so much time focusing on what I haven't accomplished, or what I need to do, or what I should not have done. And what I thought to myself was a dramatic irony. You see, I try my best to bring love to the world around me, and then I ignore it when I manage to do it. Talk about a fast track to self-inflicted suffering. Now, don't get me wrong, after a speech or a show or a video even like this, I do feel good about myself, but I'm beginning to realize that it doesn't last long enough. And I suspect that the same is true for you. Are you a superstar, for example, in the eyes of certain people, but perhaps don't give yourself the time and space to realize it? Have you done great things in the past, but instead focus on what you have yet to do in the future? Have you made a difference in the lives of others, but instead of choosing to look at that and to think about that, do you instead think about all the times when you weren't your best? Well, look, if you do, you're not alone. We all do it, but we don't have to do it. We can choose differently. We can start catching ourselves when we get into it, and we can start loving ourselves to get out of it. Listen, we've all screwed up. We're all behind schedule on something. We've all missed the chance to be our best selves at various points throughout our lives. We've all hurt someone somewhere at some point in time. And that's just us being human. But in between all of those moments, we have to remember that we've shared, provided, changed, supported, made time, shown up, welcomed, promoted, accepted, sacrificed, inspired, helped, listened, and so much more. Most of all, in between those moments, we've loved. And to me, those are more than enough reasons to love yourself. So love yourself, because you only get one life to do it.